again, it was a fucking horrible tragedy. Like, I don't think anyone is, like disagreeing with that. I mean, there might be some people. Because, like, obviously, innocent civilians do not deserve to fucking die. But it was a totally preventable thing that the American government absolutely did nothing to prevent. And as a matter of fact, turned the other fucking cheek on. And then reacted in the perhaps worst possible fucking way that you could. And to put things into context, like, now all of these fucking dumbass liberals try to say, like, January 6th is like 9/11, but so much worse. Like, you know, it's not. 9/11 was obviously significantly worse than January 6th. Shut the fuck up. Like, 3,000 Americans literally fucking reduced to rubble and ash in a fucking pancaking building. Like, are you insane? It's, like, not even comprehensible to make that comparison. But you know what's fucking worse, dude? COVID. Okay? Like, pound for pound, there's fucking people just literally dying as they're gasping for the last breaths alone in ICUs. There was a point at the fucking peak of COVID where we literally had a 9/11 a day. And the hogs were clapping for it. So I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about. Like, you don't care. You literally just don't care. You just don't care. So shut the fuck up. You just don't care. I'm sorry.
Oh, this was an accident.
Like, yeah.
The best.
Almost 3,000 Americans died in the last 2 days, dude, to COVID.
At 8:30 on this Tuesday morning. It's the 11th day of September, the year 2001. Al, it is such a pretty morning, isn't it?
Perfect fall morning, although it's not fall yet. So.
God damn! Look at that. Wasn't Al Roker, was it? Was that Al Roker? God damn, he was chunky. Holy shit!
Some very sketchy details reaching us here at Sky Centre. Important enough to bring to you, though, at this early stage. We believe that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center in New York.
It was a perfect fall morning. Yes. Clear skies. And then 9/11. Boom.
York.
Right now we're getting information, Al, that it was a small commuter plane, and of course we'll let people know as soon as we have more information as to what actually caused this, and of course on everybody's mind who might have been hurt.
60 on page 153.
Thanks for all the good streams and for further radicalizing.
Look at his face, dude. But please, just so many iconic moments from this that people have probably seen a million times over, but this is when I forget his name, but the dude, this guy, he's in the fucking Netflix documentary too. He walks over to George W. Bush, who is talking about the No Child Left Behind policy at a Florida school. Okay, they're pulling their books out. They're literally pulling their books out right now. And he goes, "Hey man." Originally, they tell him, we believe while he's walking in, they say, we believe a Cessna or a prop plane hit the World Trade Center. So now at this point, they're thinking, oh, you know, someone must have been someone must have had a heart attack or something. And then they accidentally fucking hit the plane. They took a fucking small prop plane and they hit the tower. Oh my God, how devastating of a tragedy.
11 months.
Then they're informed
much love
that, oh no, it's not actually a fucking Cessna or a prop plane. It's a straight up fucking commercial airliner. Can you talk about where you were on that? I was in Turkey, dude. I don't fucking remember. I was 10 years old.
What we've just seen is about the most shocking videotape I've ever seen.
It is completely impossible to understand why this is happening and to figure out what in the world is going on.
We heard a big bang, and then we saw smoke.
Flossing on the other building's roof, I saw you. Yeah, I was in New Jersey dancing with the rest of the Muslims, right? That's what all the Muslims were doing, right? In New Jersey, dancing in rooftops. Fucking idiot. No, I was in Turkey. I was 10 years old, bro.
Coming out, and everybody started running out, and we saw the plane on the other side of the building, and there was smoke everywhere, and people are jumping out the windows. Over there, they're jumping out the windows. I guess because they're trying to save themselves. I don't know.
Blew up, a big explosion, people started running, it was just chaos everywhere. People jumping out, people just kept jumping and jumping and jumping.
My DoorDash driver just dropped my food off, blasting your stream. Damn, dude. Motherfuckers out here learning about 9/11 while doing food deliveries. Shouts out to the DoorDash driver.
Unrelated. Rain daily for more 90 days.
And then boom, when the second plane, when the second plane crashes is being told to him, he's like, all right, it's time to get up.
And now you have to move from talk about a possible.
So they fucking, you know, put his ass in Air Force One. Apparently the Air Force One protocols are violated. It's literally ready to go before the president even sits down. You know what I mean? They just fucking shove him into the Air Force One and they fucking take off. Doors are literally, it's taken off before the doors close. Like, that's how fucking quick they're like out and about and in the sky. Now, part of the reason for that is because that's usually what they're supposed to do. Air Force One is supposedly protected.
When 9/11 happened. Thank you for teaching us.
And, you know, Dick Cheney is giving the command to the Air Force to shoot down any planes that are not, any civilian planes that are not responding, that are not complying with orders to land immediately.
Accident to talk about something deliberate.
Let's go to President Bush right now.
2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center.
George W. Bush lands in one of the military bases, I believe in Arizona, and delivers a statement. I think it was in Arizona.
Terrorist attack on our country.
Or was it
I
Omaha?
have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor.
He goes to Off-Put AFB in Omaha, Nebraska, where Stratcom is.
All my trans cuties in
Okay, I was wrong. He goes to Omaha.
Of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government
for politics, state for the
go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence.
Then you have the American Airlines Flight 77, which fucking crashes into the Pentagon. Okay. At that point, the Federal Aviation Authority grounds all the flights across the U.S. and the South Tower at 9:58 a.m. in Manhattan collapses. Okay? Now, this is the part of the events that unfolded that is the reason why a lot of conspiracies started. Obviously, whenever there's like a massive world-changing cataclysmic event like this, there's slated to be a lot of conspiracy theorists. But when the South Tower collapsed, it was surprising. I mean, the fucking tower was like literally rattling, obviously, but the speculation at the time was that, and this is the famous coined term from the Loose Change documentary, jet fuel cannot melt steel beams. Wait, a third plane got crashed in the Pentagon as well? Back it up. And a fourth plane was also redirected by the brave fucking passengers on the flight, and that one crashed in Pennsylvania. They forced that plane to crash in Pennsylvania. So, yes, for those of you who don't know, it's not just fucking 2 planes that hit the towers. There's 4 planes total. 2 planes successfully crash into, the North and South Tower of the World Trade Center. 1 plane successfully crashes into the Pentagon. And then the 4th plane is overtaken by the passengers. Anyway, let's keep going.
It's been 9 months. Where's our child?
People were burning alive in those fucking towers. They were jumping out of the towers themselves. They were jumping out of the towers to save their lives. Obviously, like, because they have nothing. They just didn't want to. At that point, it's like you're either going to die after a big leap or you're going to fucking die when you're suffocating as your lungs are on fire, right? And the jet fuel does actually play a significant role here. The jet fuel was, from what I understand, the jet fuel was like leaking through the elevator shaft. There were people inside of the elevator at the time that just fucking melted. Target of the plane is suspected to be the White House.
11th of September.
For those of you who don't know.
I was lived up until I found this info.
I remember being in
Keep up
5th
the
grade,
good
and
work,
after it
man.
happened, we were asked how it affected us. One kid said he used to crash his plane into the World Trade Center in flight sim, but said he won't anymore. America. Yeah.
We've forgotten somewhat to remind people that there was the crash of
And at 10 a.m. in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where George W. Bush was this morning to commemorate and honor, 9/11 victims 20 years after the fact, United Airlines Flight 93 crashed. It crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania on its way over
Lost
to
40
what they
pounds,
suspect
Chet.
was the
Acid.
White House or the Capitol building. It crashed because the passengers overtook the cockpit. They broke through the door, and they actually were able to successfully take over and overpower the people that had already taken the plane with box cutters. Okay.
another plane, a fourth plane outside Pittsburgh, about 80 miles from Pittsburgh, and we don't have video of that story at the moment. That's the fourth prong in this terrorist attack on U.S. soil.
We want to just repeat.
Is that a theory? No, motherfucker. What do you mean is that a theory? No, that is known, dude. Like, no, it was not shot down. People think it was shot down. At the time, they were literally contemplating shooting it down. Some people say that Dick Cheney actually gave the order to shoot down. Like, no, they literally fucking, they ran it into the ground, bro. What the fuck? Like, there's cell phone recordings of the people contemplating overtaking the cockpit. There are people calling in to their loved ones leading up to that event. Like, there's so much evidence. It's almost all of it is recorded.
You, Hassan, my
Now,
screamer.
of course, this is another, and then there's the black box too. But this is another one of those conspiracies, like Loose Change, and in the final iteration of Loose Change,
Pog.
which is like incredibly successful as far as like how conspiracy theories pop the fuck off, literally at a time before the internet, basically, where people were personally, copying DVDs on the internet and handing it off to people. Okay, and then also really popping off on the internet too. But Loose Change, and one of the more prominent conspiracy theories is that this flight actually never fucking existed, or rather, it never fell, and it just landed in Cleveland, which is so psychotic. I mean, my wife was in Shanksville where Flight 93 crashed. There were F-16s screaming towards that plane. It was Def shot down. The passengers taking over as propaganda. Man, shut the fuck up. Of course there were F-16s flying near it to shoot it down potentially.
7
The
months.
fuck
Pog.
are you talking about? Obviously, at that point, it's been fucking 2 hours since 9/11 started. Yeah, the F-16s were probably contemplating whether they should shoot it down or not.
Epic and Pog Fu.
They did shoot it down, though. No, they didn't, man. What the fuck? Okay, guys.
(9/11) lol.
My wife is a plane and I find this offensive. No, they did not fucking shoot it down, dude.
Hi chat.
Oh my god, dude. The same fucking like anti-vaxxers. I mean, this is the OG anti-vaxxer shit. Like, How do I know? Because there's recordings, dude. There's a black box. American hero aboard United Airlines Flight 93, which was hijacked and crashed as part of September 11 attacks. He was one of the passengers who attempted to regain control of the aircraft from hijackers during the struggle. The Boeing 757 lost control and it crashed into a field in Stony Creek Township near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, killing everyone on board, but saving the hijackers' intended target and additional victims.
Happy holiday BOEs.
It's so funny that like people literally are. It's so strange. People is just like, nah, dude, no, bro. F-16s actually fucking shot it down. You don't think they'd lie about that, bro? What difference does that fucking make? The American government has literally shot down hella fucking planes, dude. Shut the fuck up. Like, I hate that, like, conspiracy theorists love to fucking latch on to, like, the dumbest parts of conspiracies and totally fucking avoid, like, the actual conspiracy, not a theory part of 9/11 and America's personal involvement, the intelligence communities and the actions that they did not take, the training that they fucking literally offered under their watchful eye to, like, known people that were operating within a fucking terror cell that they were closely examining. But like, no, the conspiracy is whether Flight 93 fell or someone shot it down. It's like, you're not a serious person. You just want to hyper focus on the dumb shit, dude. Or like Tower 7 demolition. Like, what happened? Well, why did Tower 7 fall when the closer towers did not fall? Like, what the fuck? How did Tower 7 fall? I don't know how the Tower 7 fell, okay? I don't know. Jesus Christ. Now I'm worried because, like, I wanted to watch Loose Change, but I feel like a lot of dumbasses in here are going to believe the shit in here. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between, like, actual things that happened, okay, that are rather suspicious and that should be called into question, like the FBI and the CIA not collaborating, like, on the information that I just gave you, okay? And then there are, like, dumbass conspiracy theories like, oh, actually, Flight 93, you know, they actually landed in Cleveland. You know what I mean? Nah, brother, like, they actually landed in Cleveland safely. I know. Like, I was going to have fun. Cell phone calls made at 32,000 feet. Wait, have you never made a cell phone call on a plane? Are you fucking dumb? You know you can, right? Many people don't realize this, but, like, you absolutely can make a cell phone call when you're on a fucking flight. Especially if it's like, closer to the fucking ground. You're not supposed to, but you can. You're supposed to turn off your phone, but, like, you can get, you know, you can get cell coverage in certain pockets when you're in the air. I mean, I've fucking done it. Like, I mean, I haven't made, like, a full-blown cell phone call, but
Def hot chat.
There were also phones on the planes. Not if you have it on airplane mode. Checkmate lib. Yeah, I know. Totally. People have trouble with phone calls considering how shitty phones were in 2001. Bro, the plane wasn't like... You realize that plane wasn't fucking at like 32,000 feet at the time, right? Like, it was a lot closer to the ground because they were trying to fucking run it into They were trying to literally look at visible landmarks to figure out where the fuck they were, like the Hudson River, so they can follow it. So no, it was basically like being on a fucking
Just
very
wanted to stop
high,
in and see how everyone was
being in a
doing
very
this
high
donut.
building where you will have cell phone coverage. Shut the fuck up. And also the inverse of this is like, what do you think? They like recorded a bunch of fake calls, dude? Like hundreds of fake calls from hundreds of loved ones that the government allegedly fucking recorded? How fucking stupid can you be? Please explain to me how fucking stupid you are. I thought this was going to be a day where we like, you know, look at some of the dumbass things that people have said since 9/11, like some of the awful shit that people did, some of the fucking, you know, racially charged attacks, whatnot, and America's horrifying fucking domestic policies in the form of like the Patriot Act, or America's horrifying foreign policy in the AUMF, and what we have done for the past 20 years. Turns out, no, the dumbasses, the calls from the dumbasses were coming from inside the house. I didn't realize I had a bunch of dumbasses in my community that are like just like hyper focusing on some of the stupidest fucking shit.
At Hasanabi, just go.
Yeah,
to the calls
I
on
didn't
the flight.
realize. I thought that we
These
were gonna
kids
make
weren't
make
alive
fun of
during the
dumbasses,
attack.
not become them. But it turns out, you know, I got a bunch of fucking Sandy Hook truthers in here too, probably.
Jet fuel can't melt Steely Dan. My friend
Anyway.
was telling me about how the Pentagon couldn't account for 2.3 trillion a day before 9/11.
What are the odds
I
of
can't
9/11
find
being an
any
inside job in your
reliable sources.
opinion?
Is this
Like
true?
inside job in what respect? I mean, it doesn't get more inside job than like fucking having knowledge of a terror cell that has already blown up American targets and killed like American people, you know, embassy workers and shit like that, and then allowing them to fucking roam freely within the United
9/11,
States and have like
11
full
months.
knowledge
Let's
that they
go.
are doing
Our
such
baby is already
things.
2 months old and learning the
Letting them
ways of the
fucking
world.
learn how to fly planes, having them openly say like, yeah, I mean, I don't even care about fucking flying. I don't even care about landing. I just want to fucking learn how to fly this thing. That guy was actually caught though. There was the one guy that wasn't able to fucking fly one of the planes on 9/11 because he openly said, I don't care about landing.
Beep boop happy 900.
Come on, motherfucker. Teach me how to fly these 757s, not this Cessna shit. How'd that happen, bro?
10 months being subbed, been watching for a year. Thanks for all the work you do.
Guy who did this and facilitated it was friends with another guy who did previous attacks on the World Trade Center in '93. Another CIA asset, Blind Sheik. All of these guys happen to also be mujahideen that, you know, were brave anti-communist warriors that we literally fucking trained and gave weapons to. You know? I mean, it's an inside job in that sense. That we funded. Why are you shaking a can? Because it's coffee, motherfucker. It's cold brew. That's why I'm shaking it. Both the alleged conspiracy and actual attack were unfathomably well organized and executed. Like either way, it's insane and almost unbelievable, especially someone who literally wasn't born then, so it's so unreal. Yeah.
Only show the side of Building 7 that was not on fire to narrative. 14-month Ipapoga.
Anyway.
Yo.
Let's keep going. Have video of that story at the moment. That's the fourth prong in this terrorist.
Like 37 cell phone calls were made from that fucking plane, and motherfuckers are like, oh, they faked it, brother. They faked it. Yeah, totally, dude.
Attack on U.S. soil.
We want to just repeat those airline numbers, which is, you know, extremely upsetting news for people who had loved ones on these flights. But we want to give you that information. The 4 aircraft involved.
2 months, let's go.
we described to you the possibility of that North Tower collapsing. About 5 minutes after we went off the air, it did collapse. Once again, we have no idea at this point.
But you want to know the conspiracies, the real conspiracies, dude? Here's some fucking real conspiracies, okay?
Yo.
That the airliner lobbyists immediately got together in the aftermath of 9/11, and as I was watching the fucking real story last night, it's a new Netflix movie that you guys can watch if you want. It's like there's a lot of tragic shit in it. Airline lobbies immediately getting together with the government and telling them, like, you need to fucking compensate, you need to start a victims fund, or else they will literally sue us, and this will destroy the American economy. This will destroy the airliner industry. They will sue us. The victims of 9/11 will sue us, their friends and family. So we need to offer a compensation fund to them immediately, and you know, and the conditional compensation will be that they can't sue the airliners. They can't sue the airline industry. Okay? We did that shit. That was immediately after 9/11. Here's another fucking conspiracy. Wait, fuck, there was another one I was gonna say. God damn it. Now I got to hyper focus on the airline thing. Oh, another conspiracy is that the EPA literally fucking lied to Americans when the fires within the World Trade Center were going on for the next 100 fucking days. Those fires were not put out for 100 days. That entire blast radius was still contaminated with asbestos and numerous other fucking toxic chemicals and inhalants that would cause many people to get fucking cancer and a litany of other complications. The EPA literally was like, well, we can't stop the, Wall Street from continuing to work. So they released information that it was actually totally fine to go back to work. They lied to people and they told them, no, just go back to work. And there was a school in the fucking blast radius. Like, kids were going to school. Okay? There's another conspiracy. The American government, including Rand Paul and numerous other people who are still in office to this day, purposefully did not offer compensation to the victims of 9/11 or the first responders of 9/11 who had like literal polyps and shit growing in their goddamn chest from the asbestos they huffed. Okay?
I was 5 years old. Just wanted to share.
Is it true or conspiracy? Like, it's conspiracy in the sense that there was conspiring happening. It's not a theory. This is real shit. What I'm telling you is the real shit that is going on, and you're hyper focusing on the dumb shit because the dumb shit is like easy to latch onto and endlessly pontificate on. Okay? Our government is horrifying. It's disastrous. We are awful. We only care about the profit motive. The Larry Silverstein insurance contract renegotiation for terroristic threats was sus 6 weeks before 9/11, by the way. So, the World Trade Center leaseholders is depending on the payout to rebuild. A jury handed some bad news Thursday to the man leasing the World Trade Center site with a verdict that denied him double insurance payments. Larry Silverstein signed the lease just 6 weeks before the World Trade Center's Twin Towers were brought to the ground. Okay, the problem with that one is that, I mean, it had already been attacked before, so it's not like all that crazy to try to get double the fucking compensation. Because the World Trade Center had been attacked in 1993, so it's not that crazy to like try to milk as much money out of it as possible. So that's not as big as a conspiracy as you'd think.
Hasta la Victoria, camarada.
How did the World Trade Center building burn for 90 plus days? Termite? Why did Dude, I don't know how they fucking burn for 90 plus days. It's like, you know how fucking building fires work, dude? There's like electrical fires and shit. Do you know how hard it is to fucking put out fires? It doesn't have to just be thermite that causes a fucking fire to continue for 100 days, dog. Like, that's an entire building full of fucking shit that is flammable. So that one is easy.
Just got a job with
the
at Hasanabi.
Tower 7 falling is the people claim that Tower 7 fell because it had like the same kind of like lack of fire protection that the previous 2 towers that fell had.
9/11 was an outside
I don't
job.
know personally
Planes
what the
fly
fuck the
outside.
Tower 7, like, I don't know enough about the Tower 7 thing. Yeah, it's Sussy Baka, whatever. Have you seen Larry Silverstein got insurance? Yes, we already mentioned that. And part of the Pentagon that got hit was also
Thanks
where
for covering
paperwork
this
was
event
stored.
From your perspective. 9/11
That
was a
the
formative
Pentagon
event
shit is
in a
like,
lot of
it
our
makes
lives,
sense that they
and
wanted to
it's
fucking hit the
affected so much in
Pentagon. I
ways
don't
that
know
were
why you
covered
think
up
that
by
it's
the
like
US
that
government.
suspicious.
I hope we can think more clearly next time the US gets
And
bloodlust.
also, why is there no video plane hitting the Pentagon? I don't know if there is no video on that or not. I have a video about flight attendant talking about how the planes landed at an airport if you want to listen to it. Yeah, that's psychotic. I don't care about one random fucking psycho saying that they landed. Okay? That's insane. Please read. People think that because their 4G LTE phones don't get 4G LTE reception in the air, that means no cell phone has ever been able to receive any reception in the air. 2001 cell reception was very low frequency, which allowed it to traverse very long distances, such as in planes. Yeah, it's really dumb. This is the anti-Semitic part of the conspiracy theory. No, the real anti-Semitic part of the conspiracy theory is that, like, what do people say? People say that, like, none of the Jewish people that work in World Trade Center were working that day or some shit. That's the real anti-Semitic conspiracy, which is not even fucking true, but, you know. And to the people that say, like, don't you think it's odd how a plane crashed into the accounting office of the Pentagon just days after they announced they don't know what happened to $2.7 trillion? Dog, are you fucking stupid? The American government has black holes in its accounting for many decades prior to 9/11 and post 9/11.
Thanks for
like,
doing
burning the
work you
fucking
do.
paperwork doesn't mean shit. You don't care. Do you know how much more money we don't have accounting for right now within the Pentagon? Do you care about it? No. You didn't
Just
have to
had to
fucking
watch them
actually
pre-roll.
fly a
This is
plane into the
disgusting.
accounting part of the Pentagon to be able to, like, you know, wrap that up tightly. You get that, right? No one gives a fuck. The American government abso-fucking-lutely already wastes all this money with you knowing.
"5 months today, Pogu. Thank you for talking about this kind of stuff."
Please unmod that clown. Wait, who? I don't have a mod that is like a 9/11 truther, dude. The Pentagon video from the AP archives. Security video of a plane hitting the Pentagon released. I don't see the plane, brother. It must be fake. Must have been a fucking rocket, brother.
6 months, inshallah.
Flight 96 F-16s didn't have weapons. They were going to ram it. Here's the pilot interview.
And as we approach the 20th anniversary of the deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil, we wanted to share a story with you that few...
Yeah, need to fly a plane into the Pentagon to fucking hide evidence, dude. Evidence that the American government doesn't even need to hide because all you fucking hogs don't even give a shit. That's the funniest... You know what? That's the funniest part of this is, like, thinking that the Pentagon needs to fucking shred papers by putting a plane into the Pentagon.
11-9, mate.
Dude, the American government since 9/11 and even before 9/11, but definitely after 9/11, has been legally spying on every American citizen on the fucking planet, and also even foreign citizens and ambassadors and shit, openly. All of this was revealed to us. It's still going, and that surveillance state has only expanded since it was revealed. Okay? Only expanded. You mean to tell me that the American government needs to fucking fly a plane to the Pentagon to hide some paperwork? Are you fucking stupid, dude? Are you fucking insane? They openly do it. This is the reason why I think like they will unironically declassify some shit that will probably show that the involvement of the American intelligence community in the acts that took place leading up to 9/11 will be greater than what we or will be as much as we previously suspected, and much greater than the official narrative, because they don't care. It's a flex, dude. Do you understand? It's literally a fucking flex.
People have ever heard about 2 fighter pilots who took off on 9/11 to protect the nation's capital, knowing it might be their last mission.
It was a normal Tuesday morning.
Lieutenant General Mark Sassville and Heather Penny flew F-16s for the Air National Guard. On September 11, 2001, they watched 2 planes hit the World Trade Center.
We knew immediately, as soon as we saw the images, that we needed to protect and defend.
Protect and defend the nation's capital, as commercial airliners had become weapons of war. What did you understand about the rules of engagement, Heather?
We understood what the threat was. We were looking for a rogue airliner flying low that was not communicating with air traffic control.
The pilots had no time to spare. The country was under attack. They knew of at least one plane still in the sky, flying low. It was United Flight 93.
You got United 93?
They didn't even have time to load missiles. So you 2 were flying F-16s that weren't armed with missiles. So how were you going to take down Flight 93?
I mean, conspiracy theorists will say like, oh, convenient that they didn't have missiles on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Have to hit the airplane and disable it somehow.
A kamikaze mission.
Our only choice was going to be to ram the airliner.
Sag.
Sir, I remember you would take the cockpit to aim at the terrorists. And I would take the tail.
That's not something you survive.
No. As the military, we don't send our service members on suicide missions. But it was clear what needed to be done that morning.
It was not an order through the chain of command. It was.
I load. That's my job. It takes at least an hour to load a F-16. I know. I mean, I understand that it takes a while to fucking put up weapons in the F-16 and load it up before you, fly it out. But it doesn't matter. Motherfuckers are still not going to believe it because they're going to say like, oh, there wasn't a loaded F-16. Fuck off. Like, the point is, conspiracy theorists are not going to believe you, even if you show them the evidence. They're going to say this is a propaganda interview.
It was your call to ram the plane.
We're gonna look at this thread. It's a great thread, dude. I'm very excited to show you this thread. Don't worry. I've been gearing up. There's so much shit I want to show you
We
today.
didn't have any other choice.
But we're not even done. We're not even done with the day of 9/11 yet, because there's so many conspiracies associated with it that like I want to go through some of them before we get to the fucking psychotic response.
Weren't going to be caught on the ground watching America get hit again.
What they didn't know was that the passengers and crew of Flight 93 fought back and drove the plane into a field in Shanksville. 20 years later, how often do you think about that day, 9/11?
I think about it every day. Those on Flight 93 that paid the ultimate price, those are the real heroes.
Sass and I owe our lives to them. That's also why when I think of 9/11, instead of being overcome by the trauma and the horror and the tragedy, I'm actually overcome by hope. That the best of who we are was demonstrated on that day. So in some ways, living my life as normally as possible is the biggest way that we can say that the terrorists did not win.
It's such an incredible story, isn't it? I mean, I just think about the courage of so many heroes that day. And this programming note, I'll be anchoring from New York City.
Anyway, this is the reason why we have alert birds now, former AF Emergency Action Control. Hold on. 1 second. All right, let's keep going.
Point the loss of life. I can only tell you there were hundreds of emergency workers down there, about 5 or 6 blocks. In the first few minutes, emergency workers were trying just basically to get out of there, to survive. You could see that written in their faces. The situation was so desperate, they just wanted to get out of there.
Happy 9/11.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. The victims were in airplanes or in their offices. Secretaries, businessmen and women, military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror. The pictures of airplanes flying into buildings, fires burning, huge structures collapsing, have filled us with disbelief,
Bush did 9/11.
terrible sadness, and a quiet, unyielding anger. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America.
2,973 people died.